You are now listening to or watching the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
Yeah, and if you aren't, you can head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify and listen to us now. Or head on over to Drib on YouTube and watch the video version as well.
And if you'd like to stay up to date on when we're releasing a new episode or any other fun information about the podcast, you can give us a follow on Instagram at It Takes All Kinds Podcast and on Twitter at ITAC Podcast. That's ITAK Podcast.
Without saying much else, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Did that one on the fly.
Wow.
Let's see if I give a shit.
You're hearing this live for the first time.
Oh, here we go. He's back.
He's back. We have Howard Stern in the studio with us today.
Do you want to ride the Sibian? I want to see your...
I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
You don't get the Sibian?
No, we're good.
I feel like I've explained to you what a Sibian is.
Probably like 8 or 9 times, but let's just put a pin in that, all right? We'll just circle back to it.
You want to come back to it? Okay, we'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll circle back to it.
We're going to get these heifers to ride the Sibian.
Welcome to the It Takes All Kinds podcast.
That's right.
Where we talk about, and not only that, but we're recording this on Tuesday, the 18th, and you'll be hearing this on Friday, the 21st.
They're feminine boys. What are we?
What day? What month is it? June?
It is June.
Wow.
Did you say the date? You just said the month.
No, I said 18th and then 21st.
Oh, okay, my bad. I just heard you get stuck on the month, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's been a long week, brother.
I've had a whole week in one day.
Feels like it.
So if you're watching, maybe even if you're hearing, you're probably like, what?
You're like, why do they sound totally different?
You're probably like, huh? What is happening right now? And
Or if you're deaf, you usually say those kinds of things.
Yeah, because you can't hear. And if you're deaf, then I don't know what you're doing here. Because, listen, we're not going to put this show in Braille for you, okay? And get used to it. Braille for deaf people.
On video?
Yeah, video.
On a video?
Braille for deaf people on a video. So you're probably like, what? And the answer is... one of us has COVID. No, I was kidding.
No, that's
neither
not
of us,
again.
For the first time ever, maybe, probably not. I think we had to do it once because my brother had COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
Gavin does not have COVID, and we're not in person because I don't want him to get it for the 5th time. Courteous me.
I'm a magnet.
Yeah, I'm a pretty good guy. It's someone in my family here at home. I live with my family currently. Because, well, I'm trying to make it big, and you gotta get the big bucks. You gotta pay big to win big, Gavin. Okay, and that's what I learned once. So that's why we're doing it here is because it's a sickly house here. So this is just a one-off week thing. We'll be back in person next week, more than likely. And then in about a month we'll be doing this permanently. But It'll be better. It'll look and sound a lot better then. We're just doing we're doing a more unpolished episode this week, but that doesn't mean we're not doing anything different. It just means that I can't slap Gavin across the mouth when he speaks to me in a terrible way. I can't.
I'm speaking to you just like how I would anyone else.
Anyone else I talk to exactly like this.
That's just how it goes.
That's just
Carson, what do we got on the docket today, buddy?
That's a good question, Gavin. We literally just yesterday late last night, Justin Timberlake was arrested he got a DWI. And that's pretty much the whole story. I'm pretty sure it's DWI. From Arthur. DWI. And then our pointless story of the week: a Renaissance painting once stolen and found at a bus stop could sell for $32 million at art auction. Pretty interesting, pretty crazy story. I read up on it. Very short Carson Cinema Corner talking about Indian Jones. That's just what I call
Can
him.
you say that?
I
Can
don't
you say
think
that,
you can. And then, of course, we have to watch and react to the clip of Ellen Elon Musk degenerate.
Yeah.
Getting all excited at a meeting or something. I don't even know what it was. Something
Yeah.
with Tesla.
Who knows what it was? But
And then one more thing, real quick.
Oh,
Nextdoor
yeah.
Drama, of course. We're gonna do that this week.
We'll end with Nextdoor Drama. And I also wanted to say that this came out like an hour and a half ago. Willie Mays passed away. That baseball great.
I was taking a shit when I saw that news.
Good for you, man. But it's so
Didn't
odd
help.
because I think he was supposed to like pitch at the special game that's tomorrow or on Thursday that the Giants and the Cardinals are playing.
What do you mean by
At
special
like the oldest. There's like a special game where it's like they're playing at like the oldest professional ballpark.
Where's that?
I think in Mississippi or something.
Field
I
of
don't know.
Dreams?
It's something like that, but it's not Field of Dreams. It's like Rickwood Park or something like that, Rickwood Field or.
Wrigley
Anyway,
Field. That's cool.
So
But he was supposed to.
but he was supposed to be there. So it's a real shame that we lost a baseball great today.
Now, this isn't the ShamWow guy, Billy Mays, right?
No, this is Willie Mays.
Willie Mays. Okay, I get those two mixed up a lot. I thought he was a baseball player.
The kid. I think they call him the kid.
Okay, that sounds right. Well, that's sad, man. That's sad.
Yeah.
I did see that. I don't know
That's
much
just
about him, but
right off the dome, I just know all this information. He hit 660 home runs.
damn.
Yeah,
666, the
that
devil's
was
number?
in the MLB. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
That's
no
the
660 zero.
Oh, I thought you added another 6. Sorry,
666.
I've been watching a lot of Indian Jones, and a lot
I
of devil
get it.
stuff comes up in that.
That's all they do there, right?
Yeah, it's all they do there. That's all he did there.
That
Okay.
Indian Jones.
That darn Indian Jones. I did watch all 3 of the original trilogy this weekend.
You did?
By the way, yeah. We'll
Holy
jump
shit,
into it
those
later.
are really good.
They are great, and I think that was my first time watching them all the way through.
Man, anyway, we'll get to it.
I remembered parts of each, but we'll talk about it a little bit. But I mean, it's been talked to for 40 years now. So, what else is there new to really say?
You're just a
besides
Spielberg.
this?
You're just a Spielberg sperm bot.
I'm a Spielberg. I'm a Spielsperm.
Yep.
I shot right out of his peanuts. Okay. The other thing I was thinking about before I took a shit and saw that Willie Mays died, is that it's funny because I was thinking about it and I was like, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'll be moving soon and then we'll be permanently online whenever we visit each other in our respective homes. And I was like, man, we're doing like the podcast, like rainbow. We like went from Zoom to then at my parents' house and then my own apartment where we had like our own like office place. We could do it and do whatever, then back home. And then we're going to be back on Zoom. So we're just like reverting back to what we did before.
And this is probably the last time you're going to see this backdrop.
Yeah, that's true. You're getting. You should talk about that a little bit. You're leaving.
Yeah,
this
my
behind.
lease is up at the end of July. I might be moving around. Sorry, too much. But
Oh, you're fine.
so I'm trying to pack some stuff up, and it's just a lot. I mean, I feel like I should get rid of a lot of stuff now that I look at it. Now, whenever I see it all, I'm like, yeah, this is where my money went.
Yeah. Honestly, that's I despise moving, and I've done it so much, probably as honestly as much as you have. But every single time I move, the one thing I look forward to is getting rid of shit. that
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I haven't
have
seen
this-
this in a year. I don't need to see this again.
Yeah, and I have like a whole thing of I got a whole bunch of stuff over here, but now everybody's gonna be focusing on that. But it's all sitting in my bed.
No, they won't. They won't even see it.
But yeah, so it's my last time I'm gonna be in this. Not my last time being in this apartment, but probably filming a podcast in this apartment. And so
Hopefully.
that means that we're getting rid of
the cable.
the ceiling cable.
I think we've only done one.
One or two.
Yeah, maybe 2. And I know we talked about the mystery cable.
One
And
we
the
did.
mystery light switch.
Yeah,
You should
Which-
have done it out on the balcony.
I should have, but I'm pretty sure this wall is made of absolute cement, like just cement.
Yeah.
I can't hear anything unless it's through the window. So.
Right. Or your door,
Or my door, yeah. As we've discovered.
as we've discovered.
If you know what I'm saying.
If you know what I'm saying. Another thing. Oh, I need to stop doing that. Another thing that I wanted to just point out that happened today real quick, because Office Hours was recorded today on a Tuesday,
Which is a
very
bit bonkers.
randomly, which is a bit crazy because usually Thursday. So it's a double duty recording today, even though I don't say anything on the other show. So I get to rest my voice. But it was cool because Tom Kenny was on, who's the voice of SpongeBob, and Bobcat Goldthwait was hosting, and they grew up together, which is crazy that they
crazy.
went like similar paths and then like split up to do like completely different things. But I just wanted to say it was great, and it was just fun to like. It was cool that Tom Kenny was on as just being like a kid growing up with SpongeBob and like being able to see him. I didn't get a chance to talk to him because I wouldn't have known what to say. I'm not a person who's like,
Do the voice.
I'm not a person who's like, I wanted to know about this episode and what happened in it. Not making fun of anybody in particular, but just saying, that's just not the kind of person I am. If I met him in person, I would have, told him that I grew up and loved his show. But he was just such a amazing, lovable person. He's one of those people who like, if you met him in person, he would like stop and like talk to you for like 5 to 10 minutes and like give you everything you wanted from him, and he wouldn't like be mean. Like he was just such a like every person that zoomed in,
He's
asked
just
him
a doll.
question. Yeah, just a sweetheart, and that's always cool to like when you know of somebody you don't know much about them and they turn out to be like the most amazing person ever. It's cool.
I think.
And he did do the voice, by the way.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Do the roar. No, I think it's so crazy to me that they got him on there because I also started watching clips of like Mr. Show. He's in Mr. Show, and it's really good. Yeah, I need
to watch that. I think it's on HBO. Sorry, I'm getting choked up.
They're really good.
Yeah, but it's just because he's like, I would say, I was trying to think of other voice actors who are as well known for being a voice actor than him. Like he's the one that I think of as like the pinnacle. Like, you got Gilbert Gottfried, but even he's a little like you just know it because of his voice. Like you don't, most people would be like the parrot in Aladdin. Like, I don't know. I couldn't name anything else he's done. I just know, but you know the voice. And I couldn't think of anybody else. I was like, I don't know any other voice actors who are as famous. Steve Carell, Jack Black came to mind.
Yeah, but sometimes their voices kind of like go to the background. You don't think about them being Jack Black on screen anymore.
Right. But like Tom Kenny has such Christopher Pratt. But Tom Kenny has such a range. Like he's doing SpongeBob. He does the Honey Nut Cheerios Bee. On SpongeBob, he also does Gary. He does the narrator, the 2 hours later. Yeah. And he also does Patchy the Pirate, which is fucking awesome.
And he did My Gym Partner's a Monkey. He did Adventure Time Ice King.
Mm-hmm. Teen Titans Go, he was in. Yeah. Just like everything. Yep. And then all the way back to, he was he's Dog and Cat Dog, that 90s show.
Probably also in Ren and Snippy somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he was, which is surprising because you would think he would be. I'm sure maybe it came up at some point that he was in something, but anyways, it was just it was very fun and cool. I always like to bring up whenever.
I think he was in Rocko's Modern Life. He was for sure.
Yeah,
in
he
Modern
was.
Life.
He was. I've never seen that show.
Really?
Never ever seen it.
Weird fucking show.
All those fucking 90s. Like SpongeBob started as a weird show and then it got to be like a kid's show finally. All of those 90s Nickelodeon shows are weird besides like Rugrats and Rocket
Even that
Power.
One's kind of weird sometimes.
There are very weird, even like
weird
just
episodes.
Yeah, and it just looks weird too. Like all the new cartoons look like candy you can just pick off the screen and eat. But all that stuff was
those
like
ones
gross.
look like dust bunnies.
Yeah, it looked gross and filthy and like, yeah, it was just weird. But I just wanted to point that out. What have you been up to recently, though? I know you've been doing your rotation.
Oh man, I've been busy. All the stuff that like we were supposed to do in the last few weeks have been kind of thrown.
Oh, you don't think I've been busy? I've been watching so many Indiana Jones movies.
I'm glad you have time to do that, man.
It's been great. I've had a great week.
Yeah, I'm happy for you because
Thank you.
It's finally reversed.
Yeah.
God,
I know you're busy.
But I have a typical 9 to 5 now, so you
Yeah.
have to,
Blue
hop
collar,
off.
white
Yeah.
collar, whatever.
Typical, yeah. Yeah, it was. I spent the last week still at my rotation site, and I'm off this Friday, so I'm excited for that. But I shadowed physical therapy and occupational therapy at the hospital that I'm at, and the stuff that they do is just incredible. I mean, the relationships they build with the patients, the stuff that they build with the not only the patients but the family members, and they're such an essential member in the patient care process that I think a lot of, as far as I know, the people that I talk to in the pharmacy world, I think they kind of go unnoticed. Like if I want to find out something about a patient, yeah, you can always ask a nurse, but someone that will probably know a little bit more of like their personality or like something that makes them upset or what do you think their preference would be is probably more on like nurse or I'm sorry on the PTOT, because they're the ones that are actually like talking to them and motivating them, and they usually have a pretty good rapport with them, and so just going in with absolutely no knowledge of what they do exactly, and just knowing like the occupational therapist I was with, Sophie, she was really, really cool and explained to the family member, but also to me, like how his patient's stroke was working and like how they're going to approach it, like for training purposes. So it was just really cool. It's really cool. It's something that I don't see very often, and you don't really think about. So the work that they do is amazing, and I'm really happy to have done this rotation because this is the end of my 5 weeks. So I'm gonna have to tell everybody goodbye on Thursday. So that's gonna be really weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird that you're gonna have to do that like almost every month. You're gonna have to like meet all these people and get to know them, and then be like, "All right, see you later."
Yeah, it's literally like adding more people I could see out whenever I go out.
Yeah, which is a good thing. I mean,
it's cool, but it's like now I have even more of like a sensory like thing where I'm gonna be looking around like everywhere.
Swivel.
Yeah, honestly, like oh god, who's here?
Yep.
So, but yeah, I did talk, and it was also crazy because so many of those PT and OT. I think we've gotten to that age of like 24 years old where like 24, 25, 24 going on 25, where everybody just kind of starts looking the same. You can't tell just like how old someone is.
Yeah.
Anymore. And so I walked into this room of PT and OT, and I said I graduated high school in 2018, and so many of them like cringed, and I was like, oh, like I think I'm old, but like these people were like 30 years old, and they look just like. No older than a day. Not a day older than me.
Yeah.
It was just so surreal to be like, oh yeah, I'm actually like 28 and I have 2 kids. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm 24 and living at my parents' house. What about you?
No kids. Yeah. No, I definitely feel that like not being able to, like everybody's just from like 25 to 38. Everybody looks the same age.
Yeah, I would say so.
And it could be anywhere in that range. And it's like, it's so funny because I feel like for me, not working with people directly in person, at least as of right now, has like shifted my reality even more to where like I even forget how old I am sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, this person's this age. And it's like, I'll be like, oh, wow.
They'll call you the young buck around Hollywood, I bet. They'll call you a greenhorn or some shit.
I'll be the gumshoe.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, it's like, I just forget that I'm like, oh yeah, this person's like the same. Like, yeah, I'll just think that people are older.
It's super weird. And also just like sports too, because now we're past the age where like people our age are getting drafted.
Yeah,
normally.
sports is really crazy.
Really weird. It's really weird because like these people do look older than me. I feel like I don't.
And
some
seeing
of these guys do.
Seeing that like somebody's like 19 and then the MLB is like, I'm like, because then that's where I get really confused because I'm like, oh okay, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's like 5 years younger than me. now.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like my mind cannot comprehend that.
So yeah, I think having that walking into a room full of really old people, we were dealing with like 89-year-olds. Like we were dealing with like 89-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and walking into a room of like these people that are supposedly younger.
Yeah.
Than those patients. So it's just like it just is it was just a surreal experience to have that conversation while we're sitting next to an 81-year-old.
Right.
You know, it's just like weird. So
That's funny.
82-year-old, I don't know, 80-year-old,
Even older.
80 something.
80 something. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
That's really all I did. I worked all weekend and I was just busy as fuck. We had an estate sale. I forgot about that. I went there in the morning and woke up at. My mom called me like 5:15, and she was like, "Hey, it's time to go." And I was like, "I'm gonna sleep a little bit more," and I'm like, "Really this early?" And she's like, "Yeah, we have to be here at 6." But yeah, I got there like 7. Yeah, I think most of it was sold. So I'm really. It was honestly kind of weird because during it, I got there and then I saw my mom and she was like, "Oh, we don't really need you." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I mean, that happens all the time, and you get busy. You know, you don't think about it, but yeah, like it was real. Like if you ever get the experience of doing this, like definitely like, and it's like a family house, so weird. The weirdest thing because you're watching people pick through things that you looked at as a kid,
right?
Like, especially this house that we were at, like was one that was like so, you know, like like my mom had some attachment to it. She'd been there, you know, like my grandma had been there for the last like 25 years, but this is like my entire life was you know in that household. So it was really weird watching paintings getting taken away, you know, like
I remember
furniture
where that was.
getting taken away. Yeah, I'm like, I know where that was. Like, oh, all right, good. I'm glad that sold. Like there was like a Harley Davidson telephone. Like that they had. I remember playing with that, and it was weird watching someone walk away with that.
Yeah.
Then there was stuff I never even knew people had. But
yeah,
what they had there, and I was like, I don't know what hole they pulled that out of, but
I think about that as like just someone who goes to estate sales or garage sales like somewhat often, and I'm like, I get like secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? I'm like freaking out grabbing like T-shirts that I think are really cool or, you know, or whatever, and then just
pulls
like
it back.
seeing people being like, "Oh yeah, I used to wear that shirt to like work out in," or I fucked in that shirt.
That was my gooning shirt.
That was my jerk off shirt.
Yeah,
that was my jerk off rag. Are you sure you want to buy that?
You sure you want to buy that? It's used heavily.
Heavily
it's crusty.
used.
It's crusty, man. It's crusty. You don't want it. You don't want it, man.
It's got 25 years worth of my excrement in it. You don't want it, okay? Trust me, you do not want that.
So that was my weekend. I did that and then worked. So
hell yeah, dude. And then last night, jumping back to me real quick because Gavin admitted that he didn't watch any of it. I got to give a shout out to the hometown hero from St. Louis, Jason Tatum, for winning his first NBA Finals championship.
He's got a ring.
He's got a wing, which, dude, I swear to God, I thought they had already won. I thought this was going for his second. So the whole game, even at the very end, I was like, yeah, cool, he got his second one. I'm like, that's cool. And then I was like, oh, this is his first one. Never mind. Okay, that's a big deal then. Never mind.
Everybody on Twitter is just roasting him for being so corny, and it's so annoying to, like, it's annoying to see, but it's like, I get it. Like, this is just a guy who grew up watching Kobe and grew up watching LeBron. Like, it was, if I were in the league, like, and I won a ring, I'd say some corny shit too. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean?
The only thing
I think everybody would.
So I didn't watch any of the games up until I watched most of the fourth quarter last night on mute, of course. And then I
think
unmuted
Stan
it.
Van Gundy was doing it.
Maybe, I don't know who was doing it. I unmuted it at the very end to hear them like talk about it and like see everybody get emotional and shit. And the one thing when I turned it off and I was like, all right, that's probably enough, was when Jason Tatum like yelled like, "We did it!" He's like screaming, and I was like, that's probably enough. And then someone said, good. And I love the guy, but somebody on Twitter said like he definitely practices in the mirror. And I was like, this. Probably. It was like, because to me it was like that shit just does not feel genuine. It's like I've seen so many people get emotional and be genuine, and that none of that really felt very genuine. That's also why I was like, oh, okay, this is like his second one. Like, you know, it's not as emotional. But I was like, oh.
That's the thing is that it was like that was the reason why I didn't watch it, because I was like, this doesn't feel like the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, like, and again, NBA fans, this is just me talking too. NBA fans don't know what they want too.
Right.
So like we really wanted like we want like a Warriors, Cavaliers type of thing going on again.
This
But,
was
like,
pretty much a blowout.
Yeah, this was an absolute smoke show.
Yeah. Smack show. Like, I remember watching, like, peak Warriors Cavs final game.
Yeah, I remember
being
going
like,
over to
this
friends'
is
houses and watching
great.
it.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah.
like, intense. I think we all did it for one of them. And it was like, that was an era for sure. And now it just kind of feels like we're in an era of, like last year, I think was a big
4-1
deal
still.
because it was the
It
Nuggets'
was Nuggets and Heat.
first one ever. And it would,
Right.
yeah, it was the Nuggets' first time ever winning. And, just being a Nuggets fan, but also it was just a big deal because it was their first one.
Right.
But yeah, ever since the Cavs Warriors, it's just kind of been like,
Nah.
yeah, pretty much since COVID, it's been like, okay, where are we? What's happening? When are we gonna get like something like that? But then also it's like I also remember hating it just being Warriors and
Me
Cavs
too.
every year
Yeah,
too. So
exactly.
it's like again,
So
it's like what do you want?
That's exactly what I mean. Like I have
Yeah.
no idea what I want, but like this was just like one of those like, oh, it's so lopsided. Like after the first game, it was like, oh, yep, this is what I thought it was gonna be.
Yep, a barn.
And so it's
burner.
like, yeah, and it would have been different if Luka had won one, but he'll definitely
True.
be back.
Yeah, and I didn't. From a person who's not the biggest NBA fan anymore, I didn't think it was going to be like that. I thought they were going to go head to head pretty much all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, me too. But
So I was surprised that the Celtics just kept like winning and winning and winning, and I was like, oh, okay, well that's it. I don't really even need to watch anymore.
right.
I was surprised they even got one on them, but it brought them back to Boston. Wait, did it bring them back to Boston? Or
Yeah,
were they
brought
already
them back
there?
to Boston. Yeah, no, they brought them back to Boston.
Okay. Sorry, everybody's seeing this thing on our screen. But we won't worry about that. We'll get back to it later. But yeah, I just thought that was cool and just wanted to shout out the boy. Moving on though, we'll talk about Justin Timberlake real quick before we got to go to a break. As I'm sure everybody did see or has seen, Justin Timberlake got arrested for I believe a DWI. Let me even just check proactively right now. Late Monday night, and yeah, DWI in Sag Harbor.
Sag Harbor.
Where even is that? They said I kept seeing the Hamptons. That's New York. Yeah, New York, Sag Harbor, New York.
New York City.
New York. Here, I got my New York right here.
New York, New York.
But
That
yeah,
makes your like computer like slow down. It makes it like your camera framing.
it's
while you do
real
that.
weird. This picture, a mugshot of him is like equally
4K.
sad and beautiful at the same time. It's so weird. This like fucking ring light on him. I'll show it on screen right now if I remember. But yeah, it's so crazy looking. It's just like this beautiful ring light. He's just looking.
And it looks like he's trying to hold in a laugh.
Yeah, or holding a fart. Speaking of fart, Gavin mentioned before we got on that people, including myself, got duped by a little thing called Poo Crave on Twitter, which I'm sure everybody knows. There's like Poo Crave. I follow one called Disbussing Film because there's a Discussing Film, and that one's great.
I follow Ballsack Sports.
Ballsack's like the big one. I feel like everybody knows is Ballsack Sports. But they just like tweet. They'll like, because there's a Pop Crave, so Pop Crave tweets out like pop culture news going on. It's like, a
Right.
TMZ, but for Twitter, and less drama and speculation. It's facts.
We're gonna have to get a clip of Stephen A. Smith saying Ballsack Sports.
Oh yeah, that's a good one for a drop. I like that. But they tweeted out that they found like, they did a blood test and found like poppers and Molly and coke and a bunch of shit on him, like that he tested positive for. And it was a thing where, dude, I got just a quick rant. First of all, I hate Twitter. I don't like going on there. I pretty much stay off there unless I'm like, okay, I'm just going to open this app and then like see a decapitation or some horrible shit I don't want to see. And then I'm going to get off of this fucking app because I don't want to see that shit, but yet I see it all the time. That's not even what I'm ranting about yet. That's not even the thing that actually pisses me off. The thing that actually pisses me off is that when I open the app and it like just loads up whatever my last the last screen of my timeline that I looked at like hours or a day before, and then it'll like stay on there for a second. So like something will catch my eye and I'll be like, oh, like what's this? And I'm like starting to read it. And then it just refreshes all the way back to the top again.
Yep.
I'm like, why do you just leave it on what I wanted to see that. I was looking at something. And then it's just like, no, we're going to take you to the top. And it's like, just don't have that lag. Just immediately show it or don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't have this fucking lag. So that's what happened is I see this thing and I swear it says Pop Crave because I'm probably dyslexic. And then I'm like reading it and then it goes away and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I search up Pop Crave. I don't see the post and I'm like, did they delete it like already? And then I like go back to my timeline and then I see it and it says Poo Crave. And I'm like, oh, okay, well shit.
Jesus
I got
Christ.
duped. I'm glad I saw it though because I was about to be like, holy shit, we're going to like dig into this tonight and like figure it out because that's so crazy and funny. But that wasn't the case.
The best minds of our generation are being duped by Poo Crave.
Poo Crave has gotten me again. We got ball sacks, we got disbussing, we got Poo Crave, we got Poo. They're all getting to us. One thing I did see on Twitter about it that I thought was interesting is that I don't have the exact facts on this, so don't fucking quote me. But I think in like 2007, so Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears were dating at one point, I believe.
Sure.
And
for the point of discussion, yes, they were.
And in 2007, around one of Britney's controversies, I'm doing air quotes if you're listening, because a lot of them were just made up, and some of them were real, but it was also just like she had a fucking rough life. She got really put through the ringer, and got put through the ringer by Justin Timberlake, who just kind of like badmouthed her on everything. And one of the things he's like said about her that I saw was like that she needed to stop drinking, and yet then he gets a DWI, you know, a few years later or whatever.
I know, Carson, you're all about retribution.
I am, man. I'm all karma, as JoJo
That's
Siwa
why he
says,
watched the Indiana Jones movie.
Indiana Jones. As JoJo Siwa says, karma's a bitch. You should have known better. You hear that song? Well, that's what I'm recommending this week. It's JoJo Siwa's hit song. Did you see her? Have you seen her any of her dances?
Yeah,
Fucking crazy. Shake a baby.
it hurts my head.
Dude, I couldn't do that.
No, I can't do that.
I would have to go back to the doctor. I'd have to go to the surgeon's office if I did that.
Well,
I can't even, dude. I go to a concert and I'm like, you know, headbanging by myself, like nothing crazy. I'm not a weirdo.
Right.
And then, like, halfway through the set, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, shit, I gotta stop. This fucking sucks.
Well,
I can't
that's probably
headbang.
because she wore these shoulder pads all the time. Like that was like her bit, right? Like she wore shoulder pads and like played football for a long time.
Is that her bit? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know anything about that. Do you even know who JoJo Siwa is?
Yeah.
Who is she? Who is she? How did she get famous?
Former child star.
Former child star JoJo Siwa. Siwa. She was on the show Dance Moms. She was one of the moms.
That's right. Wow, really?
You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah.
Oh, see, even that makes me
Yeah.
dizzy. Shakes my brain around. Makes my brain go all weird. Moving on though, let's get into our pointless story of the week, which is titled "Renaissance painting once stolen and found at a bus stop could sell for $32 million at art auction." So I was perusing NBC, as I do quite often.
That's his favorite news place.
And I love watching Seinfeld reruns there and SNL.
Right, and
The glory days, baby.
Lester Holt, I think.
Yeah.
Is on NBC. Morning Joe.
We did a Lester Holt bit. I don't know if it'll ever.
No, I don't think,
No,
it
I
won't
don't
see
think
the
it
light
will.
of day. I don't think.
It's probably for the better. Oh, speaking of, he's like right here. I'm looking at him right now.
So cute.
Lester. I want to name my kid Lester. Lester Rolfe.
Lester, get over here.
Get in here right this minute, Lester. Okay, so this comes from NBC, but I'm also going to be reading from artnet.com, just letting you guys know where I'm reading.
Is that your
from.
other one?
Yeah.
Is that your other favorite site to peruse?
Yeah, Artnet.
Artnet.com.
Artnet.com. That one goes a little bit more in detail and kind of like uses some verbiage that gets a little bit, don't want to put all the Zoomers to sleep, so.
Yeah, it goes a little clunky, McClunky.
Go a little bit clunky. Yeah, so I'll just read from here. A Renaissance painting once stolen from a nobleman's home in let me put on my accent. Sorry. A Renaissance painting once stolen from a nobleman's home in southwest England and found at a bus stop in London may sell for 32 million quid at an auction next month. It's actually $32 million, but I had to add that quid in there. Okay, here we go with a butcher of this pronunciation. Tiziano Vesilio's early masterpiece. I meant to look that up before and I didn't. Early masterpiece, The Rest of On the Flight into Egypt, has had many homes since it was painted, presumably in the first decade of the 16th century, according to the auction house Christie's. The painting depicts Mary, Joseph, and the baby Jesus resting while en route to Egypt to safety from King Herod, who Joseph dreamed wanted to kill Jesus. Well, he didn't get his chance. He missed this opportunity. Just kind of goes on to explain what the painting is. And he's also known as Titan. Nope, Titian. I thought it was Titan. I think Titan. That'd be Titian, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Titian.
Titian. I've never heard that either. I thought it was Titan. Again, probably dyslexic.
So is that like Titian is the name of the painter?
Yeah, but his full name is the Tiziano Vesilio. Oh. But yeah, they call him Titian.
I call him Tissue.
I say bless you whenever I see Titian. So this just kind of gives the history of the painting. So Titian is believed to have painted the masterpiece around the age of 20 in Venice. This is a beautiful painting. I'll show it on screen. I probably already did. Which is crazy because it's like when I was 20, I was fucking, what was I doing? Jacking off.
Smoking weed.
Jacking off, looking at paintings. No, I wasn't smoking weed yet. I did that much later in life. But I was like, Jesus Christ. But dude,
no, Jesus Christ, literally.
Yeah, literally, and baby Jesus, and all the angels in heaven. Amen. My dad, who is a painter, humble
knows
brag.
This painting?
No, but he's painted it. No, we have a painting in our house that I think he painted when he was like 7. And I didn't know that for like years and years and years. And it's like it's just a simple painting of like a bouquet of flowers, but it's like beautiful. And he was like 7. So it's just like,
child prodigy.
Yeah, exactly. Child prodigies, like these savants of things, just like, it's crazy to find out how young they are when they do some of this shit.
And here's where we put up a picture of something I made when I was 5.
Wow, that looks great. It was first documented in the collection of 17th century Venetian spice merchant. I think this is something from Dune. Before it was sold to the English nobleman James Hamilton in 1638 and sent to London.
Free.
According
for
to
6 pence.
Christie's.
For 4 quid and 6 pence.
Well, it is on artnet.com, my other favorite website. My 2 favorite websites, NBC, artnet.com. It's in second. Close second. Very close second.
Artnet.com.
Artnet.com. You got to say it
Why
like
can't
that
it just
every
be
time.
art.net?
It is artnet.com. I'm just making sure I'm reading that correctly. Yeah, that is a good point. Why couldn't it just be art.net or art.com? What is art.com? Now I'm just going off. Now
I feel like that could be a porn site.
Let's find out. I have child lock on. Oh, it's just they just sell like
Art.
paintings. Yeah, they just sell art.
They sell art.
And they sell porn. Somewhere they mentioned that it sold for like 300 guineas. And I was like, wow, there's a currency that's not around anymore. You don't hear often. Yeah.
Antiquated term.
It later sold to Christie's in 1878 for 350 guineas.
That's in American terms, that means big ones.
Big boys.
Big ones.
That means big stacks. That means
Fat stacks.
several Willie Mays, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Dead
Kids.
presidents. Several kids. The Titian piece was then acquired by Archduke Leopold Wilhelm of Austria and taken to Vienna, where it was, quote, looted by Napoleonic troops during the French occupation of the city in in 1809. Which is crazy. So like it already has like been stolen and then it comes back to someone else later. So it's like already going through the ringer. And it's crazy that they have all of this information on this, which will be interesting in a few. Upon the death of the painting's next owner, a Scottish landlord, it was sold to Christie's to John Alexander Thynne, the fourth Marquess of Bath of England. I love these terms. They're so
my
stupid.
lord.
The fourth Marquess of Bath,
My
England.
liege. My liege.
My liege. Where do you reside? Well, I reside in Bath, England.
Bath.
Bath. Wow, that's beautiful in the summertime. Beautiful countryside.
Let me step out upon my porch.
Let me step out and
Gander
ponder.
upon Bath.
Give me about 50 minutes. We have nothing else to do today. We have literally nothing to do. What is there to do? Let me go on the porch and think about it for 50 minutes.
And Bath.
And bath. Let me take a bath. I got a real...
Draw my bath, would you?
Draw my bath, will you, peasant? Here's sixpence. Here's sixpence if you rub my leg while I'm in the bath.
I'll give you 4 quid if you jack me off.
I'll give you 4 quid if you give me a rub and tug. Thank you. That would be quite nice.
That would be excellent.
If you don't know how to, I can show you. Let me demonstrate.
That'd be right dandy, that is.
That would be right dandy if you did that. It was subsequently stolen from Longlet House, the nobleman's home in Wiltshire, in the southwest of England in 1995. So it was sold to Christie's, sold to this guy in his bath, and then it was stolen in 1995.
No, it's not Bath, it's Bath.
Bath. Bath. Bath. Bath. Bath. 7 years later, the early Titian work was found in a bag. And on artnet.com, it says it was found in a shopping bag, so like a grocery bag, at a bus stop in southwest London by Charles Hill. Excuse me. Charles Hill, an art detective at the time, who returned it to Longlet per Christie's. It is not clear who stole the painting or where it was during the years it disappeared.
So you're saying someone could have been jacking off onto this thing?
So they have all this fucking information of it went to here, and then it went to Bath, and then it went to here, and then it was stolen. But
It was stolen in broad daylight.
broad daylight. Oh, that knocked the daylights out of me. But yet they don't know.
It's a right tragedy, that is.
They're just like, yeah, this fucking art detective. First of all, art detective is a badass job. That you're an art. And this guy, Charles Hill, and this guy,
Charles Hill.
this guy right here, Charles Hill.
Charles Hill.
And so I read up because I was like, okay, well, fucking NBC, of course.
Let me see where this Charles Hill resides.
I was like, okay, so NBC has no information. Let me go to my Second Fair website, artnet.com. They should have information about this, right?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
And I read up on Charles Hill, and I tried to research Charles Hill and this painting. Everywhere just gives me verbatim the same thing. It's like he found it at a bus stop in a trash bag and returned it. They don't say how, but they'll have like stories of how he like met with this Irish mobster to get this other painting back. And it's like this all these heroic stories. But for whatever reason, this one's just like, yeah, he found it in a bag at a bus stop. It's like,
one of those things
covering something up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like he just stole the painting and kept it from 1995 on.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, I actually want to get publicity for this now."
Oh my! I was just in Bath and I happened to stumble upon this painting in a Bath.
Did you find out his contact information? Let's invite him on the show.
Well, here's the thing, Gavin. He is dead.
What?
Dirt. He died a few years ago. I think
He died 2 weeks ago.
He died
after finding the painting.
After finding the painting in a bag.
And Bath.
Let's see if we can find out when he died. It was very recently, though. I think it was 2020. Art detective. Yep, 2021.
He died from consumption.
He died from consuming the bag that held the painting in Bath. But it's so crazy. It's like they don't. I'm like.
So why was the story swept under the rug for so long?
That's a great question. Thank you for letting me ponder that one. I don't know. It sounds like this story has been out that this like painting was stolen and then retrieved, but like,
which is why it got picked up by ArtNet.
Why I got picked up by Artnet.com. But the reason why it's coming out now is because now the painting is once again being sold by Christie's at its Art from Antiquity to the 20th Century exhibition. And Christie's estimates that it will sell anywhere from 19 million to 3.17 million.
Wow.
So it's just coming out now because it's going to sell again. And they're like, oh, let's like, because I was like so excited. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? This is a crazy story. It was found
I'm going to buy that.
At a bus. I'm going to buy it. It was found in a bus stop. I was like, what is this story? And then you get to there and they're just like, we don't really know what happened. It was just found in a bag by this art detective. And it's like, oh, okay.
And that art detective's dead, so you can't ask him questions.
Exactly. And it's like, did anybody think to ask him about that story? So if anybody knows that story, because I could not, I literally looked everywhere for it. Because this guy has like crazy stories. He was probably just like, that one's boring. You don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear that one. I have much greater, extravagant adventures in the jungle.
Yeah, it's like, it's a Indiana Jones of art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me tell you about the time I had to fuck this pig to get this this Picasso back.
I had to neuter a family cat on a fence post.
Just to save a Dali from being burnt in a fire. Just one of my mini tidbits.
You know, I will say that I did talk about that book that I read last summer called Dead Sleep, where it was a sister whose twin sister was appearing in a painting. Okay. And that was really cool. And so now, like, that type of painting industry is very fascinating to me.
Yeah, well, it's very... Speaking of books, actually, funny enough, a book that I have not finished, but I did start reading last summer, was written...
Well, it's next summer already.
Yeah, I got to get on that. Was actually written by a friend of a friend's mom, and it's about a painting that was stolen from the St. Louis Art Museum in the 70s. It was a Picasso that was stolen. And so, like, ever since then, I've been super interested in this stuff. Didn't even know art detectives were a thing. I thought it was like a made-up thing because in Seinfeld, there's a library cop.
Yeah.
It was like, more or less the same thing. But
or like a soup Nazi?
Yeah, like the soup Nazi is. It's the same thing, really. But yeah, so that really interested me, and then it just made me mad whenever they gave me no information about how he found it. So he took that one to his grave, I guess. But I was trying to think if there's anything that might...
Who knows how many times he jacked off to that painting.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe I found this at a bus stop.
I cannot believe it. Oh, my days.
Oh, my days.
I am going to get so many girls with this girlies.
I can't wait to jack off to it.
I can't wait to stroke off to it. Yes, that will be very nice. Oh, yeah, so here's another thing from artnet.com about it. This is a little bit more of an explanation, but not really. So a lengthy adventure in 1995 when it was stolen. The owners enlisted former Scotland Yard agent and art detective Charles Hill to find a painting valued at $5 million at the time, mind you, inflation. Thank you, Biden. He was led to the painting, frameless in a shopping bag at a bus stop in London. Some 7 years later. So they don't even know what year he found it.
It could have been 2002. It could have been 2092.
19,000 years later. But here's the thing where the theory of maybe he stole it is he later, in return for €100,000 reward, £100,000 reward. That's a lot of pounds. It returned a long yeah. So yeah, he got a big whopper of a reward for it. So he, not talking ill of the dead.
If he's a detective and he might have found it before, then he was kind of waiting for people to be like, "Wait, where is that painting?" And he's like, "I don't know. It's at the bus stop."
I think I left it at the bus stop.
I think I left it at that bus stop.
The bloody bus stop. But could you imagine if he was just I gotta go down to I gotta go down to Greg's and get me a mincemeat pie. I gotta go take the bus though. Let me see if I have enough quid for the bus fare. And he
like,
gets down to the
there's the painting.
he gets to the bus stop, and he's like, oh, these darn unhoused people leaving their rubbish all over the place. Look at this shopping bag. What's even in there? Some rubbish painting. Kicks it. Oh my days! That's a Titian. That's a 16th century Titian.
My days! Oh my days! I've never seen a painting like this. And he holds it up. He holds it up like this.
To check it if it's real. Up to the light. My days. I'm gonna
Well,
take
it's like
this
how
home
big
and-
is this painting too? You know, like
It's
how
pretty
big is it?
small.
There?
It's
Oh,
it can
okay.
fit in a grocery bag. It's pretty small. No offense to Titian.
There's a
size
lot.
doesn't
There's
matter.
a lot more. There's a lot more that I can fit into a grocery bag. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot I've fit into a grocery bag recently. Okay. Because I'm not buying condoms.
And not only that, but I'm not taking more than one trip. You know what I mean?
Nope. I'll just use the bag. My days. I'm gonna take this home and get right to jacking off onto it.
I got right to business.
Right to business. Yeah, I don't know. It was just at the bus stop. Anyways, moving on from that. Can't imagine. He just shows up and it's there. You remember what year? Son, you remember what year you found that though? It was like 7 years after it was stolen. 7-ish. I can't remember.
That was when I placed it at the bus stop for me to discover later.
So you found a painting valued at over 20 million pounds, and you don't remember when you found it? Oh, I don't know. I find so many paintings lying
I
around.
find paintings all the time.
Listen, I'm a very busy man. I find many paintings.
Moving on.
Got to move on from that, though. But speaking of Indiana Jones of the art world, let's talk about the real Indiana Jones for a second.
Oh yeah.
You're a fan. So I as mentioned earlier, I watched all 3 of the original trilogy Indiana Jones movies. Literally just finished. What's the last one? Crystal? No, not the Crystal.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That's the first one, and then it's the
Crystal
one about
Skull.
the tomb. No, Crystal Skull is 2008. Hold on, we can just figure this out real quick. I literally just finished that. It's the one with his dad, which is played by Sean Connery, which is crazy. In the Last Crusade. So it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. And I just finished that one this morning because I had some time. And they're great. I love them. I was, as soon as I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, I'd like remembered some parts of it, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing of either of them. But I remember bits and pieces. But I was like hooked right away. I was like, oh, this is great. This is classic.
Me and my brother and sister, we were gifted a Xbox 360.
Of course.
And it came with 2 games. One of them being Kung Fu Panda, and the other being Lego Indiana Jones.
I think I did play that game.
And that was what made us want to go watch the movies.
Yeah.
And we rented them from Redbox, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I think we got them from Redbox.
Hell yeah.
Or even Blockbuster. I'm not kidding when I say that
yeah.
either. Blockbuster's still around.
I might have done the same thing, or like my brother might have done the same thing, because that feels familiar.
And we rented them from. I know we for sure rented them, and I remember watching Crystal Skull.
That's the 2008, so that's
with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf is in that.
Yeah.
So I was boofed. I'll be honest. I might have been a little boofed when I watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I somehow tapped a memory that I had like forgotten about. And I don't know for sure, but I think I saw Crystal Skull with my grandpa. My dad's dad. I think I saw it with him.
I think they had a movie tie-in with Burger King too.
Probably. That seems like a Burger King thing because McDonald's
Yeah.
wouldn't go with the gross stuff.
No.
They wouldn't do that violent garbage.
Right.
But I think I did, and I might have. I need to watch the Crystal. Was the Crystal Skull good?
No.
No. It's rated pretty low compared to the original, but that came out what? Fucking 20 years after the Last Crusade, which is crazy. And then the Dial of Destiny, which I will never watch.
Yeah. Nope.
Not the worst rating, but I don't need to see Harrison Ford old. I don't want to see that.
No one has to see that.
Nobody has to see that. Take him out of his
Calista.
misery.
This is my George Harrison.
I didn't want to buy that from the Maharishi.
This is my Harrison Ford. You're gonna buy the Crystal Skull and you're gonna like it.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's offensive, but I can do the what's his name, Sala. His friend in the first one. He also comes back in the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Is it Sala? Isn't that his name? But he
Short
goes,
round.
"Hey, Indy. Hello, Indy." That guy.
Yeah.
It's like his friend.
Yeah.
Not short round. I wouldn't do that accent. That would be racist. Would you call him fudge round?
No, I said short round.
Oh, at least said fudge round.
No, short round.
That's a little Debbie cake.
Yeah.
Hello,
Come on.
Windy.
That's the guy with the beard, right?
Yeah, with the beard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's Sala. And he's like, I can't tell if he's playing a Middle Eastern person because they're in South America. So I think he's like,
And he's white, right?
yeah, but he has like a British accent.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about this with that one movie I watched where they were literally doing blackface
Right.
or like brown face. But it's like, even in these movies, they're getting the most, they're taking like, I don't know what the correct term is, but like people who came from another country and like grew up in Britain, but they're still brown skin, but they have a British accent and probably never even lived
Right.
in the country they're from.
It's just
and
like,
those
you know,
are the people who have
colonized.
those are the people who have the main speaking parts.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like you had to go that far. So, but yeah, he has a very British accent to me, and maybe it's not, but he just has a very distinct voice. But I loved it. They were great. But
yeah, they're really good movies.
Yeah, there was a scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark that pretty much scared the shit out of me because it's so
It wasn't
loud.
the face melting scene.
No, I love that, dude. That's so
Yeah,
good.
that's so
That's so,
cool.
like, it's so crazy to me that like to me those feel like kids movies. Don't they feel like
Yeah.
kids movies to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like there's some scary shit in it. Like
Yeah.
there's some like that was for like the cool kids. Like as a
Why
little
did it
kid,
have to be snakes?
Why did it
have
hate
to be?
snakes?
Why did it have to be snakes?
And I'm his dad, and I hate rats. Sean Connery
Indiana-
hates rats.
Indiana, what's the name of the dog?
That was we named you. I really liked that dog. That's what it says at the end of the
Yeah, I
movie.
know. Yeah. At the end of the third one, right?
yep.
Or was it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I literally
Yeah,
just
I
watched it
remember.
about
Yeah.
12 hours ago.
Yeah, that was the corniest part. They're like, that's not even the name of that's not even your name. That's the name of the dog.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part. Was like,
Like they're
that-
walking away. It's like the most cliche.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's all of it's cliche. Like it's
so cliche.
cliche, but they're like so fun, and it's just very Spielberg-esque.
it's a romp.
But it's like, yeah, but it's crazy that it gets so fucking scary with the face
Oh,
melting
yeah.
and shit. It's like
Even just having
oh.
Nazis in it was crazy. Like that was
Yeah.
like 30 years after the war, and they're like, "Yep, we're putting Nazis in it."
Yeah, we're gonna put Nazis in it, and then the second one they're like, we're gonna put Chinese people in it,
Yeah.
and then they're like, okay, that didn't work as good. We're gonna put
I think-
Nazis back in it again.
Yeah, I think the Crystal Skull had giant spiders with Nazis too.
Oh, Nazis were in the Crystal Skull?
I believe so.
Was that like
There's one where like it's really bad CGI. They're like driving a car and like they get eaten by like this horde of ants,
Oh, what
and then
the fuck?
and then they're like, yeah, I just remember that being like, I'm trying not to be scared of this.
Yeah. I'm looking for something and I'm not seeing it. I don't know. That sounds crazy though. I might have to watch the Crystals. I wouldn't mind watching the Crystal Skull because it's like a childhood movie.
Right.
I think. If I did watch it.
If that qualifies.
So I'm gonna share my screen with you so you can see this, but everybody will hear it. I'll also try and play it as well. But so this is from a scene where.
It's not the years, it's the
Oh,
mileage.
I didn't mean to pause it already. I didn't mean to play it. So they're on the boat. I don't know. At some point, they're escaping they escape like a million fucking times and then never actually get away until the end of the movie. So
Right.
this is when they're on the boat. So I'll just play it. It doesn't really matter the context, but it's so fucking weird, and it comes out of nowhere. So here we go. Did you hear all that?
No, I can't hear it. I
Oh,
can't hear
damn
it.
it. Okay. Let me just play it I'll just play it for you. Let me turn it off because it's so fucking crazy. Hold on. Let me just turn on. I'm just gonna share the audio with you. We'll play it one more time for the people at home. Okay. Let me back this up. Okay, you should hear it now. Can you hear that? But it does that boom, and then it cuts away to him. It cuts to like a wide of the boat out in the ocean, and you just hear the
Yeah, the scariest fucking scream.
and it like goes back to him. Yeah, it goes back to him and the girl in the boat, and she like doesn't even acknowledge that he just screamed his head off. She's just like, what does she even say? This is what she says after. Let's hear it.
What'd you say?
Yeah, what'd you say? He just screamed so loud that people a mile away could hear it. But she's like, what? And she's like 5 feet from him. Or like not even. She's like 2 feet away from him.
Yeah.
But that like, I was like, what?
Scared the fuck out of you.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Because like, it's like a quiet scene, pretty calm, and then that happens. And it's like, why? Why did that happen? But anyways, go watch Indiana Jones. They're good. Those are good summer movies too, I feel like, personally.
Much like Jurassic Park 3, summer blockbuster movies.
Ugh, there's a movie I don't want to see. I do want to watch
Alan!
I don't think I've seen the full Jurassic Park either, so that's next on my list. I'm doing a Spielberg.
Jurassic Park 3 is okay. It's the Lost World one that's bad.
Okay, Jurassic Park 3
second one is bad.
Is like early 2000s, I think. Maybe
Yeah.
late 90s. It was like the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Again, a very Spielberg Lucas thing to do.
Yes.
But moving on though, let's watch this clip of Elon Musk, degenerate, doing a little dance at a Tesla shareholders meeting. So I'll turn the audio off for this because is there music in the background?
I think there is, yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. We don't even need the audio. So I will share my screen for this one for you, Gavin. I know you've already seen it, but
I don't think I got through the whole clip. I'm not going to lie.
I don't think I have either, if I'm being honest. I might have, but so yeah. So this
Let's
happened.
see it.
Here he comes. Big man on campus. Ah, cool. You don't look uncomfortable at all or awkward or yeah. So sick. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a cool guy right there. Just do your little dance, shawty. Yeah, jump up.
So that happened.
Jump up and around. What a cool dude, you know.
Then he goes, so that just happened.
So basically that just happened. He's a cool
My name
guy,
is
you know.
Erm Musk.
Hello, I'm Irma. This week I'm Irma Musk. That's how you can refer to me as. It's just bad. It's just. I mean,
gross.
I mean, what is there to say about it? It's just weird.
Yeah,
It's
that was a clip.
awkward.
That was the clip of the week.
It's like some shit I would have seen at like a talent show in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, bad memories.
Don't tell me the odds.
Yours is way better. You do it's like a certain thing up in here you gotta do, or you kind of bring it forward to your.
Don't tell me the odds.
It's a little nasally and a little bit of just using your teeth, talking through your grit. I was a carpenter.
I met George Lucas building a hot tub.
I was building a weed stash in his hot
Wait till
tub.
Callista hears about this.
Wait till she hears about my cholesterol. Who's Callista?
That's his wife.
Harry's?
Yeah, Harrison Ford's wife is
Callista?
Callista.
Callista! All right, well, congrats to him on
continuing
nailing a butte. Let's move on from Indiana Jones and Elon Musk, all those friends, and talk a little bit about a Nextdoor Drama.
Holy fuck.
What's wrong?
I'm just looking at it.
Dude, okay, so let me just give a little teaser for next week, because I think we have to do this one next week, no matter what. Well, we'll nix any story that doesn't need to be there to do a Nextdoor Drama next week, because Gavin, this isn't for this week. I'm just teasing next week already because I'm just so excited about it. We might have a town maniac on our goddamn hands.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Like, Maybe actually, like
really?
actually.
Yeah. These white people of St. Charles are just terrorized.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like there's a little bit of like, is it white people fear, or is there an actual problem? I think it's a little bit of both. But yeah, we have a town maniac on our hands. It's a breaking story that we're gonna save for next week, so be prepared for that, because
Be prepared.
it's actually crazy. Like, it actually had me sitting there going, "What the fuck?" as I was reading it. So it'll be interesting to see how I can pace it out. But either way, we'll dive into it no matter what, because it's very weird.
But we're talking about trash this week.
Yeah, but let's talk about trash this week, because this week's Nextdoor Drama. Well, in case you don't know what Nextdoor Drama is, we go to the infamous Nextdoor blog posting website app that's for your neighborhood, where people in your neighborhood can post whatever's going on, town maniacs, if and or otherwise. This week, and then what we do is we take a blog entry, we take the comments, we script it out, we do a dramatic reenactment of it set to music, like a little script read, just like George Lucas and Steven Spielberg would do in the House of the Unholy. What's the place where all the people go to that everybody always talks about? It's like a Hollywood elite place where they are doing terrible things to kids.
The House of the Rising Sun?
No. It's like
There is
something. It's not something manor, but it's like
in New Orleans.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. Nope.
God damn it! Someone is gonna.
I'm not. You got. Once you're at Hollywood, you'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Because I'll be
you'll be in the circle.
I'll be in it, and then I won't be.
You'll be the kid that they're dissecting on tables.
I hope they dissect me. That'd be a lot of fun. Just put me back together. This week's Nextdoor Drama is titled "I Love Watching My Money Be Wasted Without a Choice." The characters are me playing Roy, Gavin playing Steve, and we're a couple of guys who hate trash. We hate it. Can't stand trash. So, without saying much else, I'm going to hit the Nextdoor Drama intro song, and we're going to get right into it. Let's do it. This week on Nextdoor Drama.
This morning, I watched the Republic Services recycling truck go down my street collecting the recyclables. The truck had a front load dumpster that when filled is then dumped into the main container. I'm sure this is to verify that they are only collecting recyclables. Problem was, the front dump was overflowing and bags from mulch and garden soil, small cardboard boxes and other trash was flying out faster than going down in Missouri Bottom. Going in down Missouri Bottom. This is one of the main reasons why our streets look so trashy. The people we are being forced to pay for their services by the city of Hazelwood is littering all the way to the bank. Now, we, the neighbors, will need to go out and pick up the trash so they can try again. I love watching my money be wasted without a choice.
It's really sad how some people just don't give a shit how they perform at their job. I was a unit manager for a few years. I found that the major problem was with their cell phones. I had to write people up over it. Anyway, it's very sad.
A unit manager for Republic?
No, LOL.
It's really sad how companies think that they are above the law and don't pay drivers what they're worth. My coworker used to drive trash trucks and told me most of them are overweight. If they're overloaded with debris falling off, they most likely are also overweight, which destroys our roads. The employee reviews for Republic in this area are sickening. the inability to retain enough long-term employees for existing workloads and refusal to provide employees with safe, legal equipment and tools is a management issue. What you are seeing is a tiny fraction of common industry issues we face. Republic starts their drivers off at $20. You can make more in a warehouse. Getting a CDL is extensive and costly. On the bright hand side, cell phone use is heavily reduced at large companies because most have in-cab AI cameras that detect cell phone use / eye movement.
Republic didn't pick up trash on my street. Hopefully tomorrow.
It is Saturday afternoon. My trash day is Thursday. Mine still hasn't been picked up. Correction. With the holiday, my trash pickup was Friday this week. This is a serious thing.
Usually I would let that play out, but I can't. Otherwise, I can't turn it down. Yeah, dude, it got real for a minute.
They no, that's the thing. I think I understand what they're saying, but it's like a much more systemic issue than it is just like a Republic Services issue.
Right. Well, and they're like, it's funny because they're like adding them in on Nextdoor,
Republic Services,
which I
and
don't
they don't
think
have his
works.
profile.
Yeah, which I don't think works, and neither of these have profiles, so they were just showing up as like just an @ with a sentence.
I'm gonna make my profile Republic Services and then reply with like a whole bunch of shit
saying what the fuck, what the flip.
Yeah. We do our fucking best.
We did our fucking best. What's the problem?
Put your trash where it belongs.
I think I really get what like this other one that you were saying, which is like
trash was falling out.
Well, no, that they don't like pay him or they need to pay him more and safe legal equipment and stuff like that. Like that's where I can agree and be like, they don't.
Probably. Yeah, and like it probably does ruin our roads because it is so overweight. I thought they were talking about the workers being overweight.
I thought at first too, and I was like, wait a minute, I didn't remember that part. Fuck? Yeah, I mean, I get it. I do get it. It's not great, but again, pay your workers more. Maybe they'll be a little bit more. Then you can be a little bit more drop the hammer on them when they don't.
Yeah, well, then that's our taxpayer money going towards something that we need, and that can't happen.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. We can't use it for something we need, but then we'll complain about it either way. You know that. We love it. We love trash, don't we, folks? We love trash. We love Republic Services.
Republic Services probably does an even better job than, say, Allied Services.
Obama doesn't even do a good job picking up trash.
He probably puts it, all what he does, I've seen him do it. He walked out of the Obama White House and he said, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to put it in the trash.
I'm going to put it in a big ball and just kind of Dabasi it all the way to the bank. Keep rolling up the trash, picking it up.
One time I grew a whole little baby trash Tamagotchi in my front yard. Little Tamagotchi, I would feed it other trash and then it would start growing up and it would evolve into bigger, better Tamagotchi.
Some of the best trash, biggest Tamagotchi trash the White House has
I've ever seen.
Obama couldn't do it. Jimmy Carter he couldn't hack it. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it with all that trash. Yeah, I guess I think Republic Services is a local thing. That's just a trash company. I'm sure people picked up on that.
Yeah, and I think the other one is like Allied Services for Allied something.
Is that really a thing? I thought you were just making something up.
No, that's true. That's like the other one. Yeah. I'm a noticer.
I'm a trash noticer. I notice the trash.
I notice this.
My kind of thing is I notice trash companies in different cities when I visit there. That's the first thing I notice.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah,
dude,
I nerd out about it. I'm like, no way, they have Allied Services here. That's crazy. They're ranked #1 on Artnet.com.
Yeah,
my second
number
favorite
one
website.
news source.
Second.
My second favorite news source.
Right behind NBC.
See. So there's another segment that we do on the show where we suggest to the viewers something to listen to. We also suggest it to each other.
And what is it called?
It's called Whatcha Listening To. It's a segment we do every week just to make sure everybody's on the same page about what the hell we're listening to.
What the fuck are you listening to? And I actually need. I'm reading yours right now, and I'm gonna need you to go first because I need to hear this. I need to hear why.
You're
Never heard
not
you
gonna like the
mention this
reason.
band.
You're not
I
gonna
don't
like the
know.
reason.
You don't know my opinion on this band, so we'll find out. Oh, you're right. I won't like the reason.
No, you already know the reason.
I don't, but I have a pretty.
Take
good
a guess.
You heard it in a video game commercial, not video game.
No,
commercial.
no, it was a TikTok.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was because I had a conversation with someone about Oasis, and it just started popping up on my For You page all the fucking time. And the fucking time. And basically, this spawned like a whole conversation with this person. But I was like the song lyric that sticks out is like, "One fine day, I'm gonna leave this place behind." I don't know, but it's like, "One fine day." Just like it's a B-side, I guess. I don't fucking know, but I don't know what album it is on. But it's a really long song, very long song. It's like 6 minutes long.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's an older song, 94, on Definitely Maybe. Oh, okay. It's on the album with all the hits.
Yeah,
I don't know if I know this song or not.
but it's a really good song, and I put it on in an Apple Music because I'm an Apple Music guy now, so I do that, and it will play like songs related to it. So I kept getting like Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher's like independent bands, and the person I was talking to made a crazy claim that Oasis is better than the Beatles.
Well, that's something they said.
Yeah,
That was something that like one of the Gallaghers said. They were like,
better
we're
than
probably
the Beatles.
we're as big as the Beatles or something, or we are
Yeah.
the next Beatles or something.
And it's like, yeah, you guys
Better
are heavily
than,
inspired,
that's-
but
yeah,
you're heavily
better
inspired by it, but like better is crazy because the Beatles literally came before you.
Yeah.
I don't think that like you can like there's better like LeBron James is probably a better NBA player than Michael Jordan, but like Michael Jordan is probably like considered better just because he came before LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like the comparison for me. So whenever I heard that, I was like, that's fucking crazy. I was like, that's
stupid.
Such an odd comparison. And it's like, yeah, I was just like, I've never heard that before, and it bothered me. It bothered me for like all day last night. I was walking through my walking through the hallways at my hospital that I work at.
Do you like
pain.
Oasis? I've never heard you mention them before. If I'm being honest.
I like 3 or 4 of their songs. I actually don't mind Wonderwall.
I don't either.
I really don't. It's actually like it probably was overplayed in the 90s and like early 2000s, but like now in the 2020s, it really doesn't have
it's
any
just a
significance
joke
anymore.
now.
It's just a joke, yeah. But it's still a good song, I think.
Yeah,
But,
I think it's fine.
there was a song on the video game Rocksmith called it was Don't Look Back in Anger. I think that's what it was. And so you could play that on your guitar. So that I added to like my playlist and stuff like that because it's a really good song.
Yeah, I think they're fine. I think I was like, yeah, I really like them. And then I think I'm like, there was like so many other bands that were way better than them around that time.
Yeah, they're just very they're very generic and like Kohl's, like JCPenney, Macy's shopping music.
They're just very bland. Like I
said that too, and I thought
works.
yeah, and it does. It works. It's great. And they took the best of what they wanted from the Beatles and just made it their own. But it's like, if we're gonna compare them, but it's like, it is just so much more boring, and their songs go on for so much longer than the Beatles.
Yeah.
They're like the Beatles songs were so
Rubbish.
The Beatles songs they were so short. They were so short. There was never enough. So we made an 8-minute long song. Where it's the same thing repeating over for the last 6 minutes.
And at the end of the song, it's just me crying over and over.
So
Because I just seen them lose my favorite team lose a football match. Did you know that they would do that when I watched something about their recording process, and it would be like one of them. I don't know. I don't. Whichever one plays. There's one that plays the guitar and there's one that sings.
Right.
And one of them would like write the guitar thing, and then the other one would go and like watch a football match while his brother was writing the music, and then he'd come back and play it for him once. He'd write the lyrics and then record it. Like they were like a machine with that recording process. They were like pumping things out so quick.
And you can tell.
Like, yeah, and you can tell.
You
Again,
can
it's
tell
very
because
simple.
some of their shit is really bad.
Yeah. But there's so many great bands.
Some of it's really bad, some of it's really good. They're the perfect middling band of like.
Yeah.
And it's also, I don't consider them indie or anything like that. They're very mainstream, but it's like there's like a threshold where it's like the Beatles are super popular, but I still consider them like on the like people who really like music probably like the Beatles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's like, in my head, that's just the way it works because I like the Beatles, so it just has to work like that, right?
Oh, I think that makes sense.
That's my bias. But like, then it's like Oasis is like the perfect middling band. It's that you have people who don't even know certain bands like the Strokes or the Arctic Monkeys, and you have some people that are like Taylor Swift fans.
But I also think there's like another subset of Beatles fans who are like, don't like music, but they are huge Beatles fans for whatever reason. Like their dad was, so they like glommed onto it.
Yeah, or like
and
50s music too. I've seen that.
Yeah, but they don't
50s,
listen to any
60s
other music. They just listen to the Beatles.
Listen to the Beatles, yeah.
And a lot of them
you have people like music enjoyers, and you have like completely middling like commercial music too.
Yeah,
commercial listeners, I should say.
But Oasis, everybody's like, oh yeah, Wonderwall. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
But they do have some other songs, so this one was one of them, and
I'll
I enjoy
it. To give it a listen.
I enjoy it.
I might.
It's a little long. It's a little long, but I enjoy it.
This week for me, it's either the first or second time I'm doing a repeat suggestion, because I try not to, but sometimes it just happens, and sometimes it's just like, we're gonna be honest and say what we're fucking listening to. But this one was one where it's like the first time I listened to it, I didn't really appreciate it, and now I am. So it's the album by Slipknot called Iowa from 2001. I believe when I first suggested it, it was whenever Joey Jordison, their original drummer who drummed on this album, died, which was only a few years ago. But I believe it was around that time because I watched an interview where he was like really nerding out about this album, like a couple years after it came out. I think many years after it came out, and being like, that was the heaviest shit we'd ever written. There was like nothing that came after that was heavier. And like, I think there's other band members who were saying the same thing. And like, they just talked about how like crazy heavy this like is the heaviest album ever. And I listened to it and I was like, yeah, it's good, but like, I didn't really get it. I didn't think I really understood it. And then recently Slipknot hired a new drummer. They've gone through, this will be their third drummer now, because they just fired Jay Weinberg, which was weird, and nobody really knows why. And they hired this new guy who's, what is his name? I'm sorry. I do have to look it up because I should have written it down. I believe his name's Eloy something, and I probably won't be able to pronounce his last name, so I might not even try. Let's see. Eloy Casagrande, I would say it probably is. Sorry if I'm pronouncing any of that wrong. But he's a fucking crazy good drummer. And he's been posting some like drum cam clips of him like live on stage playing certain songs. And one of the songs he played was off this album, and the song is called Disaster Piece. Sorry, I added a T on the end. And like him playing the drums on it, it's fucking nuts. And he's amazing. And obviously it's Joey's original drumming, so it just goes to show how fucking crazy Joey was back in 2001, and even 99. Their self-titled is nuts, but and I was like, that's a crazy good song. And I'd like a couple days later, I was like, what was that song? Let me listen to that. And I played it, and I was like, okay, this album is fucking nasty. Like it's probably the most vile, darkest, heaviest, nasty album I've ever heard. Like the whole thing through and through, and I think really because of this song. Because Gavin, the first lyric in this song, it's the third song on the album. The first lyric that Corey Taylor says is, "I want to slit your throat and fuck the wound," is the first lyric he says. And it's like, what the fuck? Where did that come from? Like, that's an insane thing to say. And that's the first lyric in that song. And it's like, it's just so like, the way Corey sings, especially around this time, it sounds like he's like, and he probably is, it sounds like he's in horrible pain, like screaming this shit. Like, it's just this like,
because his voice is being strained so hard, or
it's being strained so hard, and it's like super gravelly, and like it sounds like he's puking. Like, it's so gross, and there's all these like screams in the background. it's just a fucking insane album. It's so dark. Like it really, even now, 20 plus years later, it's still so dark. Or 20, it'll be 25 this year. Maybe it already turned 25. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about it.
What year did it come out?
No, 2001. That wouldn't be 25. I'm thinking of 99. No. That would be their self-title is 25 years old. But yeah, it's just so dark and heavy. It's their second album, so they're like kind of figuring it out. A couple songs, obviously Disaster Piece is a disgusting but amazing song. The song before that, People Equal Shit, I love. I have a shirt that has People Equal Shit on the back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Heretic Anthem is great. Skin Ticket is a really good song. Left Behind. It's just got a bunch of good bangers. And then it ends with a 15-minute long song. Speaking of long songs, which like I don't think they do on any other album. So it's like super weird. But yeah, such a good album. And the other thing to me is like there are bands that people will consider nu metal that I don't really love being considered nu metal, just because like I like nu metal, but it's also kind of like made fun of. It's having like a resurgence now, which I think is really cool. Yeah. But like to me, I don't love considering Slipknot a nu metal band. But listening to this album, this is their most nu metal era. Like they're doing very cliche things that like Korn is doing as far as like certain sounds and stuff. And it's fine. Like it still holds up, but it's like there are some things that I'm like, oh yeah, that screams 2001 to me. And that made me kind of go, okay, maybe I can consider Slipknot a nu metal band. Not
Slightly.
Anymore, but they definitely were. But anybody saying Deftones is or was a nu metal band can go fuck right off. People love saying that Deftones is a nu metal band. That is absolutely fucking stupid. There's no way. They're such a beautiful, amazing band. There is no fucking record scratches or anything in their songs.
No, that's true. That's very true, actually.
It's metal. Yeah. It's not nu metal.
Yeah.
It's not Korn, Mudvayne, Cold Chamber. Those are nu metal bands.
Yeah.
Don't say Deftones is. Great album, though. Go give it a listen if you want to be grossed out by some screaming boys. So obviously you can't play the outro song, so I'll put it in post. I'm sure it's probably playing right now or will be in a second. But why don't you give us an outro, buddy?
Thanks for listening to Takes All Kinds podcast while we were virtual, celebrating the COVID-ness of people around us.
I forgot to say, though, dude, I'm still immune, baby. I can't get it.
All right,
watch me get it. Like,
we'll see where we are next week.
Yeah, I'll wake up tomorrow and I'm like,
I think I have COVID.
I think we have COVID.
So we'll be here next week. Keep listening, keep watching, keep rating, keep listening, keep sharing. Love seeing the love on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, man, I second that. And yeah, hopefully we'll be in person next week, not on a goddamn screen. But we'll see. Who knows what will happen.